Welcome back on the show with me, Sweetie Abochi. You know that in the realm of political evolution, we are undoubtedly your election headquarters, and we've brought you up-to-the-minute updates on the activities of the two major political parties in the build-up to election 2024. John Mahama wants to build Ghana again. The NPP wants to break the 8. It's time now for us to hear from the convention's People's Party on how they are also preparing to win elections 2024. My guest, the chairperson of the CPP and flag-bearer hopeful, Nana Frimpomaa, is in the studio with me. It is good to have you. Good morning. Welcome on the show.
Good morning. Wonderful to be here. So nice to be in the face of such a pretty lady.
Thank you. And in the spirit of celebrating International Women's Day, I want to congratulate you because so far you are the only woman chairperson of a political party and flag-bearer hopeful. Congratulations.
Wonderful.
How would you describe the journey so far for you? Having started as a running mate to Abu Sakara, to be elected as chairperson, and now flag-bearer hopeful. How would you describe the journey?
It's been hectic, to say the least.
Yeah.
However, and it's still a struggle. But I'm a woman.
Yeah.
I'm a determined woman. I have the whatever it takes to represent and fight for my children, the youth. I believe the whole conviction is about giving an alternative vehicle, an alternative to the Ghanaian youth. MPP NDC has failed us. And it's not just politics, it's the actual facts on the ground. And that is why, for some of us, we believe that we should tackle the core problem. It's not the people. I mean, seriously, we all know that what his name is, former Excellency,
John Mahama?
Yes, he's a very nice person. I liked him before he became a president. I used to watch him when he was on TV during those morning programs, and he made so much sense, you understand? And we all know Adogagai too.
Okay.
He's a very nice person. However, and down the line, most of the people working with them have good heart. I believe that. Yet, the country is not working. It's just not working. So
then let's start the conversation.
Yeah, so we need to bring a woman, in our tradition, when things really get tough, they tell you that, Kobisa, thank you, it's for a reason. Because somehow you can have you can look at the entire picture and not be biased and look at what is essential and what is important and what you should do today to be able to give that sort of equity, fairness to the people, to the Ghanaian people, to the youth, because time has soon, it's now you understand? Yeah. So how do we make it so that you have a better life? Because if we can't do that, we have failed completely.
Okay. So we are still in March, and we just celebrated Independence Day. And I think that the successes of CPP will always be mentioned in the same sentence with the independence of Ghana. Absolutely. And we've come a long way, 67 years of self-governance. What would be your overview of the progress we are making so far as a country? 67 years since your founder, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, liberated us from the colonial rule. How are we faring, in your opinion?
For some of us, it's personal and sometimes becomes emotional because not only when you look at the 67 years and you realize that anybody who have gone on pension might even have exhausted their pension, their funds already. And yet, where we are as a nation, we are only thankful that we are alive. That's what I can say, that we have the kind of youth that we have. That we have the kind of youth with resilience and who doesn't give up and is constantly trying to survive. And in the process, Ghana has sustained itself to now. Otherwise, I don't know where we would have been because the untold hardship. It's been said so many times that people don't even understand. Just do a small survey here. And if you can ask the people who are working here how they get in and out, unless a person is in a walking distance, you'll be surprised. Just the transportation alone. So today, I don't understand how the Ghanaian youth is so comfortably just sitting there, and I guess it's the way we've all been brought up, hoping that things will change. So the truth of the matter, my pretty, is that where we stand today, 67 years from now, ago today, it's a shame. It's a shame in the sense that we have disappointed the youth. We promised them economic independence. We promised that there was a reason. Yes, we are entitled. Nobody should take our liberation, our liberty from us. Going for independence is not like something that we should be even having clapping. We sent invaders away. But there was a reason why that group of people, or those group of people then, did what they did. Because enough was enough for them. They wanted to see themselves be able to manage and govern themselves so they can have access to quality housing, education, better living standards. That is what everybody is looking for. And that is what has evaded the Ghanaian youth. So where we sit today, the only people that we can claim all these things with ease are the people in government and in public sector. A strong part of the Ghanaian, more than 90% of the Ghanaian populace is petty trader. She's the person that gets up and is able to just buy adwene or kobe, onions, tomatoes, and that's all she sells to take care of the family. On a small tray. That is the entire Ghanaian, we call she has a job, and they're employed. That is the sort of employment. So the country is only focused on a small percentage in terms of the public sector and a few people. The strong members of this country are on their own.
So we are not doing so well. And we shouldn't be celebrating independence.
Absolutely not. Not now. There will be no celebration of independence until we can at least be on the path to the economic independence. Let me give you some numbers so that we can understand where we are and where I stand.
Okay.
You see, on the 6th of March, I said under my administration, the swearing, the oath of allegiance, which without the oath swearing, there's no presidency. Okay. The president will remain a president-elect. Without that oath, when they go to parliament, they can't start because they must swear that oath. There is a reason and a purpose for that. And I'm saying over the years, 67 years now, we've been doing the same thing. The only time we can claim anything significant was the first 8-9 years after the independence. That was before 66. Major infrastructural projects. Unbelievable advancement that were made. Everything that was done then. Right. So today, unless it's been left to abandon and rot, even when you go there, go to Commander Sugar Factory. Don't go to the new one. Go to the old one. The old one that was put in 60 those days. You'll still find it sitting there and it's been abandoned. Yeah. Unless it's been abandoned, the motorway can't be abandoned, so it's still the best road in Ghana. The Akosombo Dam can't be abandoned, so it's still the best that we use, not the thermal plants that have been bought, but that one. So here is the point. The point is that, why is it that we were able to build the Akosombo Dam and it's still as significant and it hasn't exploded? Because at that time, our fathers who worked with Osajifo, he being the leader and his team at that time, were more committed. They were more patriotic. They were more they had the interest of people. So today, what we are saying is that when you make that pledge, the whole entire system has collapsed. And that is the truth, my pretty lady.
Okay, so we'll get to the oath of allegiance and your view on what should be done with the water. But let's start the actual conversation from how the CPP is faring. News on You recently paints, should I say, an unclear picture of your game plan for winning election 2024. There was a resignation of the 8 executive member officials, and then there's the challenge of your legitimacy as a chairperson. And then your constitution says 2 years to election year. You should have a flag bearer. But as it stands now, it's you and Dr. Frimpomaa, right, who are flag bearer hopefuls?
No, green. Okay, Ivor Covenant Green Street.
Okay, so he's also a flag bearer hopeful.
Yeah, we were the one that finished finish the preparation before the court case came in.
Okay, so how is the CPP faring? Would you say, or do you agree with a majority of population? I went through your social media presence on Instagram, Facebook, and most of the comments are saying that you are non-existent and stuff like that. Would you agree that you are experiencing a decline in popularity, the CPP, and how are you faring?
I agree with you perfectly. Indeed, this whole CPP has been orchestrated, not today. After Osagyefo was overthrown.
Orchestrated?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay. After Osagyefo was overthrown, the CPP itself was criminalized. The party was banned. If it was just for Osagyefo himself, the party shouldn't have been banned. But they banned the party. And our fathers were all jailed. And in the process, the party could not be used for a while. When we came back, we used a different name, PNP, during the Third Republic, and we won. Then during the Fourth Republic, there was a measure, and that measure was between us and the NDC of today. And so all the legs and whatever of CPP remained with the NDC when we came out from that conflict between our late father, Jerry Rawlings, and same again, our late father, what's his name? Aka.
Okay.
Okay, so CPP has had challenges from the base. So where we sit today, we don't have a base. However, some of us came in with only one vision, because life is not complicated. It is we that complicate it. The entire elephant, if you want to eat that, it's a slice at a time. So you solve a problem at a time. So we were focused on just building the base. And people clearly today, same enemies within that are always making sure CPP doesn't get up, knows that is the only way that CPP can become a viable alternative.
So how about
that has been the issue.
The last 4 elections, let's go back like just 20 years ago till now. What would you say that the same reasons you're giving is the reason why the CPP has not been able to win? You don't have any parliamentary representative, yes. And you have that 800,000 executive positions to fill. I watched an interview where we were talking about that. Would you say the reasons you're giving about how it's the decline has been orchestrated from the beginning of Nkrumah's time to now? If you know all this, what are you doing differently this year to ensure that you actually, you have a game plan for election 2024?
Absolutely. If you'd watch through whatever and even look just back the past since I took over, you realize that CPP has been in the news since beginning. It's not just the usual thing where we only come out during elections time. We've been fighting from day one, almost 3 years now, being in court, because the only way out is to go to the grassroots and mobilize them. As I talk to you, I brought you some forms here the other time. Every constituency in Ghana has those forms sitting there. Every polling station has a booklet of 20 applications with specific direction as to how to get it done. It is for those reasons that we are being fought, because they don't want the grassroots mobilization. But it is today, from here, I'm going to court.
Actually mobilizing grassroots.
As I can talk to you now, absolutely. Absolutely. We have members now. We have people.
How many people do you have now? How many executive officials do you have now?
For our known ones, which is at the top, or you mean the ones at the polling station?
The known ones.
Oh,
we know a number of them resigned, voluntarily resigned. We don't. If you want to get into what accounted for that voluntary resignation,
no, not now.
Okay,
I'll do
so
that.
How many people do you have as party executive members?
The whole place has been filled. You see, what happens at least when people resign, you replace them with acting executives. We have acting executives for General Secretary, acting executive for...
Who are they? Do you know them?
Oh, yes, Hilligard.
Okay,
Hilligard is a current acting executive as a General Secretary. We have Cole Mensah Frimpomaa, who is the acting executive for the National Organizer. We have Tijani, who is the acting for the Youth Organizer. We have the one for Women's Organizer. It's just one of
And you are the chairperson.
I am currently the chair and leader. Nobody has taken me out.
What happens to the interim council then? Was there actually an interim council that was set up?
I wasn't aware. I was in everything was planned.
But if you are the chairperson, how do you not know about things?
That is the point. That is why we are sitting here. That is why I have not walked away. Trust me, I'm not one of those people that just because after all, I'm a flag bearer of hopeful. So I would have walked away if it was done properly. But the very reason for which the party has stood where it is the reason why I'm still here. If I walk away now without making them do what is right, then it is going to be perpetuated, and anybody anywhere just has greened it. It was orchestrated by Ivan Kwabena Street. It's very clear. You can ask anybody. Just as he did, and a small group of people. What would happen is that anybody who thinks that he's losing a game, anybody who thinks that something is not in their interest or can't make it, will just organize a small group of people and say, we have come here, knowing clearly what the Constitution says, and just mess up. It won't happen. We will go through the system. So we are in court today as we live here. I'm going straight to the High Court, and they'll make a pronouncement whether there's anything called IC or not. The IC was formed had already closed the meeting. The meeting was closed. You can look at when I spoke to the press when I came out of the meeting. And an hour and a half later, a committee was formed. You don't form a committee and ask those people who actually resigned as part of them. It was all planned and orchestrated. And let me tell you why it was planned. Right after the NERC, it came out that everybody should now go vote for NDC. Go and check out. That CPP can't go for 2024, that all political parties in the whole country should stop and now follow NDC. It was planned. CPP is going to be on the 2024 ballot. At least I know I'll be there. Let me put it that way. Because we have an agenda, and that agenda is to ensure that this country is not taken for granted. Let me wrap. I think we should get to what we're discussing. Let me tell you. If you look, I wanted to read, but let's leave it there because I'll just people know it. If you look at the Auditor General 2021, it said that there was 17 point something billion after having audited 101 companies and institutions, public institutions, 17 point something billion. Then it came to 2022, 15 point something billion, all missing. Then in 2023, we are talking about 12 billion. My pretty, under one of my initiatives called my 10K, which I'll find time to explain to you later. Okay. That means that 17 plus 15 plus 12, you are looking around 40-something billion. Okay? That's what it means. About 44 billion. 44 billion on paper, documented, Auditor General. Where are the people? And we have what we call the Special Prosecutor's Office. We have Yoko. We have all these departments that has been put together to be able to ensure that we do what is right. How do you get such missing money? You don't get it back, and we just get to hear. It's so frustrating. And we have Parliament that's supposed to investigate us and ensure that that money is taken and give over. If it's 40 billion, and you said you are talking about 10,000-ish capital, since we are petty traders, it means that 4 million, listen to me, youth of this country, 4 million Ghanaians under the My 10K would have be given money to be able to work. 4 million Ghanaians. So, what does it mean? And I sat here and told you that I think our father Mahama and Nanado, them all are nice people and good people. So what it means is that something is the matter. That is why that we are asking that we change and add our tradition back into our pledge.
You don't think the Quran and the Bible will suffice because this is still a form of oath swearing? What role is the water going to play that the Bible and the Quran cannot do?
Thank you. Okay. We are saying that, first of all, because I respect people, I said the people who want to sign on the Quran, because I'm a Christian, so I still want to use the Bible. But that Bible should be infused with what it is, the essence of the people, the spirits of the people. Let the vulnerable in the church pay for the Bible, not the office of the president. Because there's no connection. Let the vulnerable pay for the Quran, not the office of the president, neither the Ministry of Education. So it becomes like a paper that you are swearing on. The swearing on the Bible is between you and your God, in God. The swearing with the state, it's a different, it's the oath. Then I am saying infuse the ones with the people, with the land, so that let the poor people, the beggars on the street, the woman whose child, like I had a child in the US at £1.12 ounces, barely 26 months, but she survived. She's finished her master's today. Because she stayed in the incubator for 5 months. There's no incubator systems even working in Ghana now. Let that woman be the one paying for that incubator baby, 10 pesos. Let the person, so that, listen, you know, you and I, we have conscience. Something must tell you not to do something. Something must prick your conscience. I believe in science. I believe in AI. But I believe that all these things are put together by the same human being. When the mind is warped, it's not correct, you can't even design or even produce anything. When you believe that you have to do what is right for the people because you have a covenant with them, if there was no need for a covenant, then why are we doing the oath?
Is this what we really need? I'm
Absolutely.
sure you're talking about corruption and how we can curb it and get our leaders to actually execute their mandates, you know, and do right by us as a people. They've already sworn by the Bible, and this is where we are.
Thank you.
So what is the significance of the words? Is it just instigating fear in them? Is that what we need to put our leaders on their toes?
What is the essence of the swearing by the Bible, my dear? If I can ask. We need to be scientific and ask questions. Why are they swearing by the Bible? When you answer that, then you answer why I'm saying that we are traditional. We are.
So then it could be an option. But how are you sure this would work? Like
we are going out there. Yeah. For me, so far, all the people who are struggling believe that should be done. Okay, and then we are taking it to the legislature. We are taking it everywhere. We are asking the traditional council to be part of it. Governance is not just about people foreign concepts. We have used this system severally before we came. I'm saying that, listen, today, our father said he was going to put his presidency on the line for Galamsey to be stopped. He put one of the people that you and I believe was, I personally trusted him. That's Professor Frimpomaa, because of who he was in terms of his history. But at the end of the day, we have Galamsey worse today than it was before they took. And he himself said that the members of the committee that was put together by the president, i.e. the ministers, were not coming to the meeting anymore. The president said he was going to build a house of to God. He himself, that is his pact with his God. I can say no. Whatever whatever it is a different discussion. But that's what he wanted to do. He didn't call you. He didn't call me. He called people that he trusted and people within that godly whatever that he knows that they are. But yet it didn't work.
Okay.
It didn't work. The Bible has lost its significance.
Okay.
So we need to add. And in any case, when we are doing any program in this country, after we pray with the Quran, we ask the Bible, the traditional authorities
that
also.
was the point I was going to make. The majority is Christians, Muslims, and then we have the other religious groups. So maybe it should just be an option, but not to force them to swear by water.
My dear, let me ask you something. It's not the majority. Every one of us is from a traditional area.
Right.
And within that traditional area is our chieftaincy, traditional council. If the chief today says, oh, citizens of Agbozume should come and do something, you'd feel inadequate if you didn't go, unless something stopped you. You understand? You'd want to go there. And if you didn't go there because maybe you didn't grow up there, but your father and mother who did, would want to go and make their contribution to that area, because that is where technically our spirit is. We are not saying, I'm not talking about deity. I'm not talking about the fact that some spirit is sitting somewhere. I'm talking about the spirit in you. I'm talking about the land that you are on, the food that you eat. I'm saying that the very essence of who we are, that should stop me from not doing what is wrong to people. If the Bible hasn't done it over the years, and I'm telling you, the cathedral currently is supposed to be owing, there's supposed to be 60-something million US dollars. 200 and something million has already been given to the secretariat. Now the minority has gone to make this whole satire situation about trying to recommission the center. What is the point here? the point I'm making is simple. If we don't infuse into our pledge something that will ignite integrity back in us, that is not the only solution. But no matter what project you come up with, just as the Galam say, that's the presidency put his line on, just as trying to build a house for God and putting God's people to handle it, that has failed. And just as we before did motorway, which is today the best, by people who at that time were believed in making Ghana work. I said we need to reset the button.
If you got the mandate to rule this country as the president or, you know, as the flag bearer of the CPP and then voted into power, this is something you want to do.
Absolutely.
So how are you ensuring that you actually get there? I'm still asking about your game plan. What are you doing this year in the build-up to election 2024 to ensure that you at least get some parliamentary representation?
Thank you. That is part of the game plan. The game plan is to let people know what we intend to do differently. It's not just to come up with ideas, because the ideas somewhere. 24-hour economy. I don't even want to go there. But let's even assume it's the best. It will fail in 24 hours. You know why? No matter what funds come in, it will be siphoned back to the very places that it came from. Not because the president doesn't have a vision or doesn't want to do the best. His very own people that he's going to put in that committee, the very people supposed to make it happen, will now have to pay for their expensive primaries. And it's not their fault, too. They have to pay for the expensive primaries now, they owe, and then pay for the next primaries, and then pay for the people who put them there. It's not an easy thing. We are all trapped. We are trapped in a situation that we need to bring our spirits up. We can't just, listen, people talk about those societal issues are different from water. Petrol, did you bath today?
Of course.
Did you drink or will you be drinking today?
Yeah.
That's the point.
But that's more scientific than traditional, wouldn't you?
No.
Yes, the African traditional religion has its own, you know...
We're not talking about religion here.
Water.
I'm not talking about
drinking
religion.
water and bathing with water, that's more scientific.
No, I'm saying that if you swear on the Bible, is that scientific?
No, it's not scientific.
If you swear on the Quran, is that scientific?
It's religious.
That's my point. Then let's swear on water, which is our land, which is our tradition, which is something that every day I'm bathing will remind me that, hey, there's some poor people who bought that water that you had a pact with. So make sure that you do what is right. As a doctor, ensure that you take care of the patients. As a nurse, don't have another hospital. That is just, you send patients there and bring them to this hospital. Listen, please let me round up with what Okoboy said. Honorable Okoboy, I love that gentleman a lot. And in 2022, he says something that is very important. He said that he being at NHIS and knowing how much money that you and I pay, because 80% of the NHIS money comes from deduction at source. You understand? As long as you are buying your petrol, sitting in the church, so you have paid for your NHIS. As you are buying the water, you've paid for your NHIS. And he says that money that is collected, if government will pay it into the right department, listen, that's what you are going to say you. Your grandparents, when they are sick, anybody, Ghana would not have to pay 1 cent for any disease, no surgery, all surgery, including dialysis, including incubators. But today we know that is not happening. Mismanagement, corruption, it starts from the mind, it starts from the heart. You must love people to do what is right. It's not just scientific. Scientific. It's not just if you can swear on the Bible and you say that it's okay. And we say, we as Ghanaians, let's add water, and you have a problem with that. Then you know that one is more powerful.
We have to go. So when do we get the name of the elected flag bearer of the CPP? Before December?
Currently, we have a code out there, *920 *277#. If I tell you the number of people calling every time on that star number to join CPP, if I tell you the number of people
I'm
making a point. Okay. The election officially is supposed to be in July. Okay. That was what we agreed at NEC before whatever happened. Yes. That we'll do the elections in July. Between now End May, we'll finish the internal one. We are not in a rush because we need the base. Okay. Without the base, we got 12,000. Before that, 24,000. Before that, 25,000. That is nothing. We need to get to the Jubilee House, have the youth become the parliamentarian. You see what is going to happen going forward. Because we will swear by the oath, proper allegiance to the people, that yes, indeed, what belongs to you will be done, and that what God has given, we are taking the position because we know we have the ideas, we have the zeal to make it work like we did before. But if we do not, if you want me to swear by the Bible, and you think that is colonial, that's the invaders' approach. You want me to swear by the Quran, but you say water is deity.
Okay, we need to wrap up, but I want to chip this in because you're talking about tradition and who we are as native people. This controversial LGBTQ plus bill that's been passed by Parliament, which is still in court, and a lot of debate is still going. Standing on the edge of this precipice, which way ought Ghana lean, do you think? Or what's the significance of this bill?
I think the significance of the bill for me should be deterrent. It should deter people. I mean, when people grow up with feelings of for this sex or that's opposite or for the same sex, it shouldn't be seen as evil. We should tell them it's not acceptable. Because I'm a mother and a grandmother as such, I wouldn't say that my child should be jailed for having that kind of feeling. But I would do everything. I will start from the school system. I'll start from letting him know that man is with woman. Woman is with man. If you have that feeling, you are not evil. Curb it and control it. That is what I'll do. You are either a man or you are a woman. You can't be both. You understand?
Thank you so much for joining us. It was good chatting with you. I appreciate that. Nana Frimpomaa, who is the chairperson of the Conventional People's Party and flag bearer hopeful for the CPP. She was my guest talking about their preparations for elections 2024. But stay with us. There's still more to come after this.